strive, but when the sun sets, I come alive. The world keeps running, but I stand still, obeying your command, Yahuwah's will. No working hands, no toilet ground, only peace and joy abound. A day of rest, a gift so true, Yahuwah, I delight in you. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign I will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. No buy and selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. A day for worship, a time to be with family close and heart set free. I hear your voice in stillness deep. You call me close, my soul to keep. Your love surrounds, your spirit leads. You give me rest, you meet my needs. Set apart from worldly ways, I lift my voice in songs of praise. Your covenant forever stands. I trust, obey, and lift my hands. The work is done, the table set. Your Sabbath peace I won't forget. I breathe it in, I let it flow. A glimpse of what's to come, I know. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign I will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. From week to week this truth remains, a day of joy untouched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from heart set free. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from heart set free. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from heart set free. From week to week this truth remains, a day of joy untouched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
This is Jaden.
Hi, guys.
Nicole.
I'm Eli.
Sorry.
And we're just fighting the dogs at the moment, guys. This is what we always do because we have 9 pit bulls, and sometimes the devil gets into them, and sometimes they act a little savagey. And normally on Shabbat, they don't do that, but today they are. And so we got people that are patrolling the hounds. Now, for those who have never heard of the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, we are the family that believe that the laws, statutes, and commandments of our beautiful Creator are good today, tomorrow, yesterday, and forevermore. They are for all generations. That's right. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are your actual moral compass guidepost for life. And if you forsake them, or if you have come to the understanding that they have been nailed to the cross, well, that's actually a lie from the devil himself. And so I saw a question that came from Sarah Baker that was talking about, what is it, 2 Corinthians 11:14? Read that, Kate. And let's talk about that, because when it comes to the laws of our Creator being nailed to the cross, to the stake, to the tree, being fulfilled so that we don't have to do them, I think this verse applies. Now, Cade, will you please read these verses?
For such are false emissaries, deceptive workers, masquerading as emissaries of Mashiach. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades the messenger of light.
So I think Sarah's question was, how does this apply to today? Well, you have an entire religious system, 400,000 different religions, and 400,000 different religions don't give a rip about the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Now, how did this come to be? How did we end up with 40 different thousand denominations of Christianity, where you have these fat old pastors that'll stand up at the pulpit that'll sit there and tell you that the laws of our Creator are no more, that you can eat what you want to eat, you can do what you want to do? Who came up with all of these institutionalized lies that we've inherited, right? It has come from somebody who has represented himself as an angel of light, and somehow these lying scribes and these people have passed on these doctrines of demons. And yes, every single religious system that is out there is a doctrine of a demon. That's why we don't have a religious system. That's why we do not have anything that we classify ourselves as. Because in scriptures, there's no such thing, right? The closest that we would have to anything is to become a Hebrew, is to become an Hebrew. The same thing that Father Abraham became when he crossed over. And so when we are trying to figure out that, and that was just one simple example, right? That the laws being dead came from the angel of light, came from masquerading around. We have all of this. You have a government system that all of these politicians are demonically possessed. All of these people running hoaxes across the American people all the time. They're all demonically possessed. How do they get demonically possessed? Well, they serve the wrong Elohim. They serve a lowercase Elohim, a lowercase God, an angel of light that is masquerading, an angel of death that is masquerading as an angel of light, Hasatan. So anytime that you guys hear things of this nature, that their laws don't apply to us anymore, people have been deceived. And guys, we are the family that truly believes that this is for all generations and all times and all people. And it's something great. When you guys start keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, and there's only about 158 or so that we can keep today in today's society, and we're going to go over these in the next little bit. So before that, Kate, will you open us up in a prayer?
Gracious Father, thank you for this day. Thank you once again for bringing us all back together as a united family, seeking your Torah, seeking your ways, and we ask that during your times of feasts and the times that you have set apart for us, these holy days, that they are blessed, that they are sanctified, that they are how you want us to be celebrating these days. And we thank you for your Shabbats, we thank you for your rest and the days you have given us, that you're so merciful that you've given us a day to rest, and you commanded us today to rest so that we can recharge, be ready for the coming trials and tribulations of the coming weeks. And we thank you for all you've done for us and always blessing us and watching over us and keeping us all here on your journey, on your path to one day make it to this kingdom. We thank you for all in His name. Amen.
Okay, let us get rolling into this. Now, Jade, guys, one of the things that is beautiful, and what we're about to read is a simple piece of what they call the Torah. Now, the lying scribes and the demonically possessed people inside these religious systems, and it might be harsh words. You might think that, wow, he's calling the pastors of all these religious systems demonically possessed. Well, I don't know what else to say it. Either they're ignorant or they have had outside intrusion into their minds that they don't read the same scriptures that supposedly these people are supposed to be preaching from. And so if you are preaching another doctrine other than the doctrine of our Creator and His Son, then it is a demonically possessed doctrine. And it's something that will lead many, many, many astray. And in these end times, we need to absolutely be very, very astute in scriptures, which is why we recommend everybody to read, the Torah at least 5 times as a starter, right? And I'm not saying 5 times and that's it, but if you have never read your scriptures before and all you've ever had is this guy standing on a pulpit who's stealing 10% from people unbiblically, then it's something that you will do yourself a service by slowly reading through the Torah. And Yah Scriptures provides all the scriptures absolutely free of charge. There are apps on the Apple Store. There's apps on the Google Store. And, right now we are going to be under darkness attack. And we ask that everybody will please include the Yah Scriptures in your prayers, because we're just about to release 3 brand new languages that are out there, and I am probably about 20 books away from having the complete 103 books of the Yah Scriptures in Swahili done. So my Swahili is done. Eli, what language are you working on?
Hindu.
Hindu. And how long do you have left on that, Eli?
About 30 books.
30 books. And Jade, how many books? What language are you doing?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. So we have Portuguese, Hindu, and Swahili. And between that, we have about 900 million people that speak these languages across the world. And so, guys, as we produce these digital versions of these books and get them out, the devil is always trying to stop us because there's no other books out there that have the restored name of our Creator, His Son, and all of the non-corrupted versions that are out there worldwide. And so, guys, please keep us in prayers on that. Jade, will you please open us up with the Shema?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
So, guys, these are very important things, right? What we're talking about in these little set of scriptures right here is how we are supposed to have the laws of our Creator. Now, you can call them laws, you can call them good instructions, you can call them knowledge, you can call them a foundation of life. When you take the laws, statutes, and commandments, which we're just about to read, and you make them a part of your life, when you impress them upon your children, when you speak of them in your house, when you speak of them walking, lying down, when you get up in the morning, and you start thinking about these laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. You see, the Torah isn't a religious system. The Torah is a way of life. It is a way of life that you can govern. As a male, you can govern your house. As a female, you can support the male that is supposed to be governing their house with the Torah. You govern your children with it. You govern your business with it. You govern the way you eat, the way you operate, the way you treat people. Everything children of the Most High in the kingdom to come is found in these first 5 books of scriptures. Now, this doesn't eliminate the rest of the scriptures, but when you take, say, for instance, in these demonically possessed religious systems that only teach Paul, they will say, well, the laws are no good. Paul said. And for those who don't understand, Paul was absolving replying to people that were writing him a question. So if you're taking Paul as your main doctrine and you're absolving yourself from keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, that is a folly. And that folly is not ignorant when we're standing in the fire. You see in Matthew 7, it very clearly says that our Messiah rejects everybody who is lawless. Depart from me, you who are lawless. So as we go through these laws, these statutes and commandments that we're just about to go through, we ask, if you guys have any kind of questions, let us know. What you're seeing right here is you're seeing a free app that we distribute worldwide. It has had a tremendous amount of downloads. There's a tremendous amount of people that are following these laws, statutes, and commandments. And it's something that you guys can, Ms. Nicole, if you'll throw a link in there so people can grab this app. It's absolutely free of charge on whatever platform you guys have. And the very first page, you can look at the Torah commands. And so let us begin into these beautiful laws, statutes, and commandments.
I need to say hi to everybody first.
Oh, yeah, Ms. Nicole. Say hi to everybody, if you will, please.
All right, so we have Chris, we have William and Sarah, the Judge, Brandy and family, Candy and Ruby, Danny Boy, Joanna, Sue, Sister Barb and family, Sylvia, Razul, Crystal, let's see, I think I missed, Jeremy and Callan, I'm searching, Loving Yah, Rose, Tracy, those are both new names, so welcome to both of you. Jerry and Dolly. I'm looking. I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, greetings to everybody who's out there. Greetings to all the new folks. Greetings to those who come in the future that listen to this long after this live stream is over. Shabbat shalom to everybody that is out there.
Rhodes?
I don't know. Is Josh Rhodes in there?
Yeah, I think I
What's up, Josh Rhodes? What is up, brother man? Much love to you. And again, greetings to all of our family. Greetings to Sister Barb and her tribe that is out there wherever she's at in the mountains. and I hope you guys have all had a wonderful week. Now, I noticed people are celebrating the Feast of Trumpets in here, and it seems like everybody's going to have a different calendar. We are on a Zadok calendar. Yesterday was our Day of Atonement. And so as we are in basically a feast month, regardless of when you are keeping these days, congratulations that you are keeping these days. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we have a set of appointed times that our Creator has told us to keep. And when it says things like we shouldn't keep, don't do what the nations do. The nations keep stuff like Easter, Christmas, all these other pagan holidays. Thanksgiving is a pagan holiday. All of these things are what the nations do. And so when we have a set of appointed times, it is a glorious time. It is one of these things that you'll see these false teachers and these people out there, and they're like, well, we don't need to keep these laws, statutes, commandments. We don't need to keep the appointed times because we're not in the land of Israel. Well, we've been told to keep these for all times. And the reason why is this is a rehearsal for the future. Now, all these people are sitting here waiting on this fake rapture that is going to take them out of here. They think this guy honking the bus, his name is Jesus. They call him Jesus. They think he's going to take them away as they're eating their pork rinds, as they're doing evil things, as they have no law in their life. Well, the thing of this is we have all of these appointed times that we are supposed to get in sync with. And they're fun times, right? Some, like yesterday for us, it was an atonement day, right? It's a day of solidarity. It's a day of looking deep inside of yourself. For us, there's no commandment that says you need to fast, but we're supposed to afflict our beings, and the best way that we can figure out how to do that is by fasting, which absolutely does afflict our beings. But we're getting into the time of Sukkot. Right, we're getting into something that when you start keeping these days, it's fun, right? It's fun for us. We can't go off into tents outside and do a bunch of other things because of our pit bulls, and we've had many tents shredded to smithereens because it's hard to keep things going when we have the dogs like we have. And in the future, when the dogs, disappear from our time, we will all get our tents and go outside. But we move rooms, we go outside, we do various things to try to do this the very best that we can. And so if you guys are keeping these appointed times, congratulations to everybody. And we'll get the schedules figured out. We'll get the calendars figured out. We'll figure out what Enoch was saying. We'll figure out what everybody was saying. We'll figure out what the book of Jubilees was talking about, and we'll get everybody synced in. And one day we will be able to celebrate this all together as a big family in the kingdom to come. And it's going to be a joyous time where we keep our Shabbats, we keep our Passovers, we keep all of these things, and it's going to be in the kingdom to come. So you're not just doing this right now as the set apart people, but it's a dress rehearsal for our bride, for our Mashiach. When our Mashiach comes and brings his people home, this is what we're going to be doing under his guidance. So with that, guys, let us begin these beautiful laws, these statutes and commandments, which every single man, woman, and child can keep today with no problem. There's nothing in here that is bondage. There's nothing in here that is, the old ways of Moses. It just, we have a new way forward, right? All of this Christian religious mumbo jumbo that says the laws have been defeated or are gone are lies. That is the angel of darkness masquerading as an angel of light, telling us lies and things that are not true. So here we go. Commandment number 1 is be fruitful.
Commandment number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature. The earth bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin. Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect. There who has covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
And let me read Jerry's comment real quick. Jason, you crack me up, pork rinds, but at the same time, I have compassion for these lost souls. We're going to many more. Am I reading that wrong? Or is that either walk away or come to the truth of the Scripture? Yeah, absolutely. No, it's sad. It is very, very much sad. I'm sure, as all of us can agree, all of our family, like we have 0 in-laws that are going to make the kingdom, right? There's 0 people out there. When I minister to my mom, she laughs. She thinks it's a giant joke that, oh, you eat clean food. I love fat. I love pork. I love all of this other stuff. Down here, we run a clean kitchen, which means that we sell frozen food. That is, we don't allow pork, shellfish, anything, and we advertise that, and people will laugh at us. In fact, we have a competitor that literally sells rendered pork fat and puts it in his newsletters with laughing emojis. He hates our guts. And so at the end of the day, we have compassion because it's going to be real sad. But at the same time, these people are digging their own graves because they are too lazy to read the scriptures. When you read the book of the Nazarene, it becomes very, very clear that when Messiah talks about this little nagging feeling that every single person has had in their stomach, right? That longing, that looking, the creator of the universe calling the people who are willing to be his, they're calling them to the kingdom. And you can either go back to your HBO movies, you can either go back to this world you have, you can go back to your unclean food that you're eating and scoffing at everybody else. But at the end of the day, it's 100% on the individuals. And as the book of 2nd Ezra says, most people don't make it, right? It's a drop of water compared to a wave. And when you look at the world that we are in right now, it's not a lot of people. It's very, very small. So continuing on, let us, and it is truly heartbreaking. It's really, really sad. And that's, what happens to those who mock the commandments, right? All of my family, right? We're never going to see our family again, right? It's going to be like the rich man, and assuming we can even make the kingdom to come, they're going to be looking up and give us a drop of water, and we're not going to be sad because we're going to be separated from the evil that is there, and everybody has made their treks. But it's up to us to be the laughing stock of this current world as we minister to these people, and we try it. And we've been on YouTube now for I think well over a decade, and I've been laughed at by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's just they come and they go, and that's the way it is. It's really sad. Okay, continuing on. Yeah, Brandy Payton said I had a debate with someone this past week about how we are not under the old law, and that's the thing is there's no such thing as old law. Who said it's an old law? We've never ever said. There's no place in scriptures that says old law. So right out of the gate, the debate is about something that they don't even care about, right? And look at this commandment that's on the screen right here, right? As we're talking about this commandment, this is part of the old laws, right? Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments, reiterated over 50 times. The largest commandment that we have in scriptures by far is that we are to guard the laws. Okay, so how is putting the laws on the cross guarding it, right? How is making jokes about eating clean food or that you're under the old law, right? These people are under a demonic spell, right? And unfortunately, most people don't make it. Most people have no wishes to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, continuing on, guys. Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all the firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat and the Sabbath day.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make a false accusation against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that tool is touched.
Do not go to the altar by the steps.
Man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with feasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
All right, hold on. No sacrifice to other Elohim. Okay, just reading Brandy's comment here. And this is very interesting. This is why I really love hanging out with all you guys, right? Because this is you guys, we're all in this battle together, right? And all of us, we walk through this pagan world, this Gentile-based world, and Brandy says they asked me why I didn't attend any specific church, and I just said that because I haven't been able to find anywhere that believes the way I do. They said that I'm preventing myself from fellowship. Now, one of the interesting things is that in these Torah commands that we're reading, we're not supposed to hang out with the world. We're not supposed to do what the world does. And you're not going to find anybody. You're going to find a religious system of Judaism, which keeps the seventh day. But at the end of the day, they also keep a whole bunch of other commandments that we have a commandment not to keep any other commandments other than what is in the Torah. So Brandy's doing exactly what's right? It's separating ourselves from this. And when you read the book of the Nazarene, and it's the last book in Yah Scriptures, it is just a beautiful, beautiful read. Messiah Yahushua says it's better to be lonely than it is to be hanging out with bad people. And he also says a little thing that you can't go into a tannery even if you don't touch anything, because when you leave the tannery, you're still going to carry a scent of the death that is all over inside of this tannery. And so what happens is when you are lonely and you think that I gotta go hang out with somebody, or I gotta find a church or some place to do it, and it's a bunch of non-believers, you're going to be walking away with a stench of bad doctrine. Because I have yet to ever find a assembly, and I'm sure there's somewhere out there, that believes the laws, statutes, and commandments as we do, just with what we do. For us and our family, we don't take anything outside of these scriptures. We have about 103 books, and every one of these 103 books all jive. Every single one of them. You don't get to any of the Apocrypha, and the Apocrypha tells us that, you can eat pig, right? Or something of the sort. Every one of these books is all about the laws, statutes, and commandments, and that we need to uphold them for all times and all generations. All right. What you got?
I want to say welcome to the new girl. Her name's Ann Ho.
Hi, Ann. Good
She
to see
said
you.
that she found Yah Scriptures 2 days ago on TikTok and found our YouTube page this morning and learned about Hallelujah Scriptures. And she's just feeling convicted about not attending her Baptist church anymore.
Awesome. Yeah, I grew up Baptist. I was a Baptist most of my young life. I took my wife into the Baptist church. We were fun-loving criminals when it comes to the religious system. And you're not going to find any single religion out there that keeps these laws, statutes, and commandments. And so, welcome, dear sis. Congratulations. Just tell people to read scriptures, right? Read these scriptures with a loving, open heart, eyes, and soul, and let Yahuwah guide you. And he will absolutely guide you, and he will protect you, and he will, the hardest thing about coming out of a religious system is getting rid of the old dogmas, right? The old doctrines, the stuff that is not true, the worshiping on the wrong days, all of this stuff. And this is why we always go through these laws, statutes, and commandments every Shabbat, so that, you guys kind of get what they call muscle memory, so that we're able to, something happens in your life, and all of a sudden you can revert to the Torah commands and go, you know what? If I do something like this, I'm going to anger my Elohim, and I don't want to make that happen. All right, here we are, guys. No sacrifices to other Elohim or gods.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor rent, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not fall in the multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from murderers and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
So there we are, guys, right here, right? So we used to be hooked on one certain calendar, and now even though we keep the Zadiki calendar, I'm not convinced, right? I am not convinced that we are doing this all right. I see the phases of the moon. And Nicole and I were having this conversation the other day, right? I see the phases of the moon, and you can absolutely look at the moon and you can keep track of time when the moon is. But there's other things that, come into play when we're trying to match everything up with scriptures. So even though we have been at this a very, very long time, even in our house, we can't come up with something that I feel confident in, because it's simple enough to look at the moon, right? You look at the book of Enoch, and we know that we have 1/14 of a day, then the moon lights up, right? It lights all the way till it becomes a full moon, then goes all the way back down. And I was just telling Nicole the other day, I'm like, this looks just like a clock. It looks just like something that I don't know how people would keep it. They keep it with a sundial and use the sun. I haven't found scriptures to even go that far. But as far as the moon, I believe there's something with it. My point on this is, if you guys can't find a calendar, stick with one, right? Stick with one until Yah convicts you, until you are able to find the correct calendar, and just keep these appointed times. Even if we're all on different calendars, even if somebody's blowing trumpets one day, somebody's blowing trumpets another day, somebody's fasting one day, right? Get the calendar and stick with it until our Messiah comes, and he will sort this out, because we have at least shown obedience, that we are willing to keep these appointed times. We're not all going to get this right? We're at the very end of time. We've had a lot of devils and demons corrupting scriptures, corrupting all the text, and it's hard to figure this stuff out. It's not a simple task. So, guys, Joanna was talking about that they use the sundial in ancient times. Yeah, you can tell the time based upon sun, and you can look at the moon, and it looks like a calendar to me. So find a calendar and keep it, and keep your obedience. You have anything, Mr. Cole?
Just Anne. She just said thank you to everyone. Y'all worked fast in my life, because I learned about Yehoshua just in January. Before this year, I was astrology and witchcraft. I'm practicing my first Shabbat today.
Beautiful, beautiful, Anne. Wow, that is so good. It is so amazing. That's the hand of our Creator that grabs the stragglers, that grabs the few that are out there that are willing to seek our Creator. It is that nagging feeling. And whenever you start reading the Yah Scriptures, if you ever make it to the book of the Nazarene, which is the very last book, it talks about our Creator looking for you, finding you. And there's a lot of people that reject him, right? They have this thing, and all of a sudden there's too many other important things in their lives to ever come into covenant. And when you start keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments, that is called the covenant path. That is where our Creator has said, if you will keep my laws, my statutes, and my commands, I will be your Elohim, and you will be my people. And that's as simple as it is, right? And, a lot of people only have a Messiah, right? They have a guy named Jesus, but they do not have the Torah, and they have the books that they consider doctrine, things like Matthew, that very clearly say our Messiah will reject you. All right, let's continue on. Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sent before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Okay, let's talk. Hunter Jones. What's up, Hunter? How you doing, brother? Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. The letter J was not invented until the 1500s, right? There was no Hebrew man ever in history called Jesus. When you are looking for the proper name of the Son of the Most High, his name is Yahushua. Some say Yeshua, some say Yeshua, some say Yahshua, right? It's closer to the word Joshua with a Y, Yahushua. And so absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, our Messiah is the leader of the kingdom to come. That is the one who came, who walked his Father's path 100%. He was a sinless individual. He was a leader. He was a rebel in terms of the religious systems that were out there. But he was not a rebel when it came to his Father's laws, statutes, and commandments. In fact, he kept the laws, statutes, and commandments. He kept the Shabbats. He kept all of the Torah. And he told us that if we love him, to keep his commands. And his commands, he's very clearly, the commands that he has given to us came from his Father. And so, yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, we are Messiah-loving, Yahushua-loving. We love our Messiah. And we can't thank him enough for the diligence and for hopefully accepting us into his tribe when he comes. That will be the leader of the new Jerusalem, Zion, Mount Zion. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, continuing on. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim, other gods.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no kind of other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not use or make this anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make this perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat fat.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKadorim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh, holy.
Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Okay, let me jump in. Sister Barb's right. You know, the name Jesus, Jesus, is a Greek name, right? A Hebrew man would have never ever had that name, and there's no letter J's in the Hebrew alphabet, and so, you know, prior the first time we ever saw that name Jesus was in 1611. When the corrupt King James, who was a Freemason, who was also into witchcraft, he was also into a whole bunch of other stuff, and you don't make it to president or king or something of the sort unless you've already completely sold out. Well, this guy changed the name from what it was prior to the 1611. It was ISIS, IESUS. Who's ISIS, right? And all of a sudden, you know, we see in today's society, we have groups of terrorists. They call them ISIS, right? They call them all these other names. And so they've corrupted the name, the most beautiful name of our Son, of the Most High. And, you know, when we have verses like there's only one name under heaven by which men are saved, you know, it sounds pretty like it's tough because, you know, nobody knows the name of our Messiah, which is why in the Yah Scriptures, we have the Paleo-Hebrew name of our Messiah and his father. And that's the closest that we have to what their names are. And so, anything else in here, Mr. Cole?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and Sister Barb's right. He was dark, not white. That's also as well. I mean, you can get that from the book of Revelations. We know he has woolly hair. We know his skin is like bronze. And so, they've changed who our Messiah is to, you know, the white guy. I think the guy's name was like Borgie or something. The guy that actually changed it. You know, all the picture you see has the heart with the white Jesus in it. That was all yet another hoax of, you know, trying to take the identity of our Messiah away like they do to everything, right? All that Satan wants to do is just keep us further and further and further away from the truth. And that's why you have 400,000 different religions that all don't keep the laws, the statutes, and commandments of our Creator. All right, yeah, that's it. Joanna's got it right. Caesar Borgia, that's the one. And that was all. It's all part of the hoax, and they, you know, it's all. At the end of the day, it's all satanic, right? They're trying to take the identities of anything that we should know and trying to get us further and further away from the truth. Okay, let's keep rolling. Yeah, welcome, Jacob. Well, much love to you, brother, man. Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, or recount Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
So let's quickly take a look at this, guys. Right here in a row, right? We have the Feast of First Fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, Pentecost, what they call Pentecost. We have the Feast of Trumpets, which some of you guys are in, the day of blasting, right? If you guys are looking for probably the day that our Messiah was born is probably closer to September 11th-ish. And if you're looking for the appointed times of when our Messiah could very well return, it could very well be when Yah's people are sitting there blasting trumpets. The thing about our Messiah is he came on all these appointed times, right? Everything was about an appointed time. And that is how our Creator works. And so this is why we want to be as obedient as possible. And, you know, you guys can get shofars. Shofars are like super cheap, like $20 or something of the sort. A little tiny ram's horn. It's super, super fun. You can sit there and you know, blast on it. And, then we have the Feast of Sukkot. And, some of our appointed times are feasts. Some of them are a somber time, but it's a fun time, right? The Feast of Sukkot is a week-long process where we, in the times of Yisrael, we would all been, onto a little party time. Nobody be at to work or any of that sort. We would all be, intense, out there, rejoicing, partying in the name of our Creator, in holiness, right? Celebrating His ways, reading the Torah, right? You're supposed to, part of the Torah commands is that you're supposed to read the Torah every Sukkot. And, what we try to do is we try to read the Torah all the time, right? What we're doing right now is being obedient in the name of our Creator in reading the Torah as we speak. Okay, and let's continue on. I'm just reading comments here as well. That's it. Joanna says the famous live picture of the Sacred Heart with the glowing heart on the chest of JC. Yeah, exactly. That is a false deity, and that's who everybody worships, right? You look at the Catholic Church, they will worship them. They worship Peter. They worship Mary. Everybody's worshiping everybody. So let's continue on, everybody. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give an honor.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor Yovel, Julie year.
Confess sins to Yahuwah and repay who you trespass against.
Allah bin Nazir.
Where's these on the four corners of your garments?
Big commandment here, right? Right here. This is like one of these commandments that is for men, women, children, everybody. And it's the Judaism has a white tassel, right? Judaism has a white tassel. We have gotten, tzitzits. We have them available. We're going to actually start giving some of these away. We're going to start running some little fun stuff where, you guys are able to get them, and we'll send you guys a pair of tzitzits. And it's like an ultimate loyalty card to our Creator, right? We're told to wear the tzitzits so that we remember the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And it's really a fashion statement. It is a fashion statement for the people of our Creator who are willing to do these commandments. And so if you guys don't wear tzitzits, I would strongly encourage all of you guys. Yahuwah remove our stony hearts. Yeah, they worship Captain Kirk, right? I can't say anything about Captain Kirk other than he's on a good vacation right now. He's having a good time. And everybody in the United States of America seems they're very, very much hoaxed when it has come to this. The entire thing was AI. The entire thing was CGI. It's just another demonically possessed pushing of this New World Order agenda that we are all into right now, led by the Orange Man. Okay.
Go now.
Okay. So, hold on, I'm reading.
So, Sister Barb, we'll have them in about 30 days or so, but we have them as pre-order right now when the website's on, but right now it's off. For Shabbat.
You can't actually buy anything on Shabbat from us at all.
So once it comes on, we do have them pre-ordered. They should be about 30 to 45 days out, and then you can get some.
And Sue Smith is exactly right. The Pope wears Dagon, the fish god. That's his headdress. When you actually look at anything with Catholicism, it is extremely demonic. Very, very satanic, everything on that. Hunter Jones says, just to clarify, I'm Jacob using Hunter's YouTube account. We'll straighten out for the next time, but for now, I'm confused with so many ways to believe. I want to know how to become more like our Elohim. Well, here's the thing. When you study the first 5 books of Scriptures, you learn how our Creator lives, operates, and wants us to operate. That's the thing about when we don't know the Torah, it gets very, very confusing because we don't know what our Creator wants. We don't know what He wants from us. And all of us have joined in a religious system that has no value on the first 5 books of Scriptures, which is why when people come into Torah, and that's what we call it when you actually start observing Torah, it's a breath of fresh air. Because all of a sudden you learn things like we're reading right here on what our Creator wants, how He wants us to operate. And if you want to be like our Elohim Most High, it comes from Torah keeping. That is how our Creator lives. That's how His Son lives. That's how He wants us to live. That's how He wanted all of His people back in the days to live and to operate. And so it's what you want to learn how to believe is on your own understanding based upon what scriptures are, which is why I talk a lot about reading the Torah, guys. And Jacob, you can download the Yah Scriptures app, the same app that we are reading right here, and you can just go to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and read it slowly and see what it is. Mystical.
What are the first 5 books you're talking about? Genesis, Exodus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first 5 books. Yeah, the first 5 books. That is what people call the law. That is what people say is dead and gone. That's what every religious system has no value on the things that should be the most value to our lives. In these first 5 books of scriptures, it says we need to keep these for all generations, all times, all peoples, all nations, all creeds, everybody. There has never been an expiration date. There has never been like a box of milk that says it expires in 2 weeks. It is something that is for all of us. It's for your children. It is for your children's children, their children's children. It's for everybody. And these same laws that we're reading today are what the covenant path is all about. When you read Hebrews 8, it talks very much about a covenant people. I will make a new covenant with my people, and these people will always keep my laws, my statutes, and commands, right? And so this is what this is all about. Yeah, absolutely. No problem, guys. No problem, Brandy. We are here to we're here to talk. We're here to just chit chat with you guys. Show the love of our Creator and try to get this all figured out for all of us. It's not easy, guys. It wouldn't be, there would be a lot more people in it if it was easy. It's something that you have to study for yourself. In 2 Timothy, study to show yourself approved under Yah, workman who needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And rightly dividing the word of truth is that when you say the laws are dead and gone, that's not rightly dividing the word of truth. The Bible begins on page 1 and it ends at the very, very end. Everything in that is doctrine. And if you're confused that the doctrine is wrong or something, go back to the very first of the book and read it very, very slowly. All right. Anything else? Yep, we have to deny ourselves, pick up our stakes, and follow him. Absolutely, right? Oh, man, it's so good to see you guys all in here chit-chatting, the new people. Love you guys. Okay, the Torah of laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
You shall bind the laws upon your hands and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Let's hold on real quick. I got some of the coolest stuff here. All right, Jacob. Jacob says, everyone is talking to me, telling me to stay focused on the New Testament because Jesus came to shed his blood. Please explain. Well, here's the thing. This is why we have a religious system that has no value on the Torah of our Creator. So when you look at what our Messiah did not come to give you a religious system. In fact, our Messiah came to do the will of his Father. Now, the will of his Father are these commandments that we are reading right here. And so when you deal with a religious system, and unfortunately, I know these are hard words, but when you only have a Messiah, but you do not have the Torah, that is a demonic religious system, right? You have all of the Christians that'll be out there that say, you have Jesus, he gives you grace, he gives you mercy, he gives you all of this, but yet clearly in Matthew 7, Messiah Yahushua, who you know as Jesus Christ, says very clearly, somebody read that real quick. Somebody go to Matthew 7 real quick. I want to read that. Matthew 7. Let me read this for you guys. I don't want to jump out of these Torah commands real quick. Let me have this. I don't know if I can see this wrong. So Matthew 7 says this. A couple different things. Not everyone. So this is Matthew 7:21. Not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, or Master, Master, shall enter into the reign of the Shamayim, right? Not everybody who says, and these are people that are talking to our Messiah, but he who is doing the desire of my Father in the Shamayim, in heaven. The key words right here is he who is doing the desire of my Father. Now, those things that the people said, well, you don't have any laws, you don't have any Old Testament. Well, the Old Testament is the desire of our Creator. Our desire has, or our Creator has said, you need to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments if you want to be a child of the Most High. Continuing on, it also says, many shall say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied? Have we not Nabu in your name? Cast out demons in your name and done many mighty works in your name. Now, these are what you would call the Christians, right? Everybody's doing stuff in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, I cast out demons, right? Everybody's sitting there doing, they think Jesus is the only part of their doctrine that they have. Now, our Messiah himself says this, and then I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. What is lawlessness? Well, lawlessness is breaking the Torah. If you have these commandments that we have been reading out right here and you don't have them in your life, that makes you lawless. So if you want a Messiah, if you want Yahushua, if you want who they call Jesus Christ as your Messiah, he will very clearly say, depart from me if you are not keeping his Torah, his dad's Torah. And so it is very, very important that we do this. And so that's the problem with the religious system, guys, is that we are all hoaxed. And it's the same with everything in this world, right? Everything's a hoax. We're just marching our way into a really destructive time. Okay, continuing on, guys. Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do their Elohim.
Listen, all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
And I don't want to keep you guys forever. Look at this commandment, right? Do not do what is right in your own eyes. That is an actual Torah commandment that we have. And when you look at this satanic religious system of all these people that are like, do what you will, do exactly what you want. It doesn't matter what you do. You could do what you want, right? That's the same thing. We discussed this last week. Aleister Crowley, that was the motto of one of the most evil people that ever has embraced this world, is do what thou wilt. And that's what the Satanists do. They love to do what they want. They love to mock our Messiah. They love to mock our Creator. And that's the essential thing. And so we have to come back to this understanding that all food hasn't been made clean. All this pig and lobster and shrimp, it's not clean. We don't have a Sunday, the day of the sun, Sol Victus, to worship. We have a seventh day Shabbat. That is the day, right? And these are all things that we do that is in our own eyes that we just think, oh yeah, once saved, always saved. We're just going to make this kingdom. We're waiting on Jesus to honk the bus and we're on our way out. Okay, do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any boldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger a clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year lease.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 months, through 3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet who has chosen.
Private test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
To how to deal with the false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is the adult portions.
The brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man who put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back from the forgotten sheaf in the field. Leave for a stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, and as we're heading over to Deuteronomy, Danny says this: faith without works is dead already. And he's quoting James. And, you know, James is an incredible book. Like, if there was an apostle that got it, that actually got it, that's James, right? If you're looking for a real short book that actually sums up things very, very well, because in this satanic religious system that everybody lives under, the Christians will tell you, oh, works aren't going to save you. Works won't save you. And at the end of the day, you had our patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right? How did they get saved? Because Messiah Yahushua, or those who call him Jesus Christ, was not around. He was not around, right? He was in the prophets. He was in all these times. They knew of a Savior that was going to come and save them, but they had no other thing than by their works. Now, what are your works? Is it like helping an old lady across the road? No, it's keeping the Torah. And I'm sure helping an old lady across the road is absolutely a great thing to do. But keeping the Torah is your works. Will you be obedient to our Creator, or will you be disloyal like the rest of the world who doesn't give a rip about the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator? All right, now here we are, guys. Let's roll into this.
Jake wants to know, so
Yep.
tell me how to become one with Yahuwah.
Well, you start with the Torah. You start walking the Torah. This is called the Torah life, right? When you start with the Torah, and I would say, if my friend Jacob, if you have like an Android or an Apple device, download this app, right? Download the app, and at the very front page are the Torah commands. It gives you a quick list, and that's a quick list, but all these lists have verses with them, and when you read the first 5 books of Scriptures, they become very, very clear that this is how to become one with our Creator, right? You walk His ways. You become loyal, right? The world is a disobedient group of people that doesn't care about anything. And so that's how to become one with our Creator and His Son. What's the Torah? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Those are the Torah. Those are the first 5 books of Scriptures. That's the laws. People call them the laws, and that's the first 5 books. So that's what the Torah is. Mama CA, what's up, sis? Much love to you. Okay, let's get into this. Jade, break us down where we are at in the book of Deuteronomy.
We are recapping. Deuteronomy is a book of recap of basically the entire first 4 books of the Torah. The people made it out of Egypt. They wandered through the land. They sinned. People died. They fought some other nations, claimed some land. They got commands. They learned how to build their temple. They learned what the Levites should do. Sinned again. More people died. Moses, very good people, he got kicked out of land because of their sin and his sin, and he hit a rock when he was supposed to speak to it, and he's so frustrated he disobeyed Yahuwah and was banished from the Holy Land. So now he only can see it from the outside, and he is recapping the story to the people about which way they went.
Yeah, and yes, Yahoo has it right? And this is a response to Jacob that says, how do we become one with Messiah Yahushua? How do we become one with Yahuwah? And, they say, you love Yahuwah with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, which he's quoting Deuteronomy. Then you love his ways, and your desire is to keep his ways. Now, I want to reiterate that his ways are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That's what his ways are, right? And then his ways are perfect, right? And so that is according to what the Scriptures say, with no religious bias. That is how we keep his ways. Okay. Yep. We are all praying for those seeking the truth of Yahuwah. Thank you, Sister Barb, and family over there in that tribe. Okay, here we are, guys. Deuteronomy 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan. And Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And Yahuwah said to me, do not fear him, for I have given him and all his people and his land into your hand. And you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon. So Yahuwah our Elohim also gave into our hands Og, sovereign of Bashan, with all his people, and we smote him until he had no survivors remaining. And we captured all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we did not take from them. 60 cities, all the district of Argob, the reign of Og in Bashan. All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, besides a great many unwalled towns. And we put them under the ban. We killed them all. And we did to Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, putting the men, the women, and the children of every city under the ban. But all the livestock and the spoil of the cities we took as booty for ourselves. And at that time we took the land from the hand of the 2 sovereigns of the Amorites. that was beyond the Yarden, from the Wadi, Arnon to Mount Kerman. Sidonians called Kerman Sirion, and the Amorites call it Sinir. All the cities of the plain, all Gilead and all Bashan, as far as Salcah and Edrei, cities of the reign of Og in Bashan. For only Og, sovereign of Bashan, was left of the remnant of the Rephaites, right? The giants. And so these are all giants. And what you guys are, for those who don't understand, this is new to them. What we're seeing right here is we're seeing that the tribes of Yisrael, under the hand of our Creator, are wiping out a genetically flawed group of people. All of these people, all of the, like Og and the Amorites, they were all with giant DNA. They were, from the days of old when Noah got rid of all the giants, these guys still had a corrupt line that came from the line of Ham, from Cam, from Noah's kids. Continued on. See, his bedstead was an iron bedstead. Is it not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon? 9 amma is its length and 4 amma its width, according to the amma of a man. Now, we looked that up before, guys. How long was that bed? Do you guys remember? That was a monstrous bed. It was like,
I think around 14 feet.
yeah, so we're looking, I think it was like 14-foot bed is what this king had, right? This dude was a large and in-charge dude with a custom bed that was just very, very large. And this land, which we possessed at that time from Ararar, which is by the Wadi Arnon, and half the mountains of Gilead and its cities I gave to the Reubenites and to the Gadites. And the rest of Gilead and all Bashan, the reign of Og, I gave to half the tribe of Manasseh, all the district of Argob, with all Bashan, called the land of the Rephaites, And these are, again, the giants. This is the corrupt DNA line. 14. Yair, son of Manasseh, taken all the district of Argob, as far as the border of the Geshurites and the Maachalites, and called them after his own name. Ha-Bashan Kawath, Yair, to this day. And to Machir, sorry, I just flipped it. Where are we, I guess? 15, there we are. And to Machir I gave Gilead. And Reubenites, and to the Gadites I gave from Gilead as far as the Wadi Arnon, the middle of the Wadi as the border, and that's a river, as far as the Wadi Yabak, the border of the children of Ammon, and the desert plain with the Yarden as the border, from Kinneroth as far as the sea of the Arba, the Salt Sea below the slopes of Pisgah on the east. And I commanded you at the time, saying, Yahuwah your Elohim has given you this land to possess. All you sons of might pass over armed before your brothers, the children of Yisrael. But let your wives and your little ones and your livestock, I know that you have much livestock, stay in your cities, which I have given you, until Yahuwah has given rest to the brothers, 2 brothers as to you. And they also possess the land which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving them beyond the Yarden. Then you shall return, each man to his possession, which I have given you. And I commanded Joshua, at that time, saying, your eyes have seen all that Yahuwah your Elohim has done to these 2 sovereigns. Yahuwah does the same to all the reigns which you are passing over. Do not fear them, for Yahuwah your Elohim himself fights for you. And I pleaded with Yahuwah at that time, saying, O Adonai Yahuwah, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For who is a mighty one in the Shamayim, in heaven or on earth, who does according to your works and according to your might? I pray, let me pass over and see the good land beyond the Yarden, this good hill country and Lebanon. But Yahuwah was enraged with me for your sake and would not listen to me. And Yahuwah said to me, enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter. Okay, what is this matter, gentlemen?
This is the matter where he struck the rock, where he was told to speak to the rock, and water would flow out at Meribah. And he said, and he was so enraged with the people, he said, listen up, you rebels. And he smashed the rock with his stick, and water came out.
This is Moshe, our homeboy, our leader of the day, Moshe, who got kicked out of going into the brand new land. And that brand new land is what he was asking our Creator, please just let me go see it. And Yahuwah is like, enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter. And he says, 27, go up to the top of Pisgah and lift up your eyes westward and northward and southward and eastward, and look with your eyes, for you do not pass over this Yarden. But command Yahushua, and strengthen him and make him brave, for he shall pass over before this people and causes them to inherit the land which you see. And we dwelt in the valley opposite Bet Peor.
All right.
All right, what do we got?
Question, but not about this. So, Anne says, I read the 2 books of Adam and Kawa in the last 2 days, and it taught, in the last 2 days, and it talked about the 5.5 days. So that means Yehoshua isn't coming until year 5,500, right?
It's like 6,000. I mean, basically, it's around 6,000 years is that we have. That is what we can figure out from a time standpoint.
From Adam, though.
From Adam, yeah. So basically, it's we're looking at like 6,000 years, which I think we're close. I really don't think it's going to be multiple generations more. It could be time could very much be off. I'm not saying this or that, but it's definitely I think we're at the end of days, no doubt. All right.
Next question. This is from the judge. What books or what exactly source revealed to you that the giants or polluted genetics came through Cam? I'm well studied and I know of no such info about Cam.
Where do we get that at? This was in the writings of which one was it that talks about Noah's?
Watch the writings of Abraham.
I think it's the writings of Abraham. I think is where it talks about Noah and when Cam wasn't he wasn't from the same mother that we have Shem and Japheth with. And so that came from a different mother, and that was a corrupted line, and Noah did not want to take her wife prior to this. And so he was very upset about this, but I guess she was loved by Yah, even though she came, probably like Ruth, the Moabite, was loved by Yah, and so that is where the corrupted line of Ham came from. And so there's a couple different books in the Apocrypha that speak about this, and so that is where that actually comes from. Yeah, Abraham scrolls very close, 6,000 years. Yeah, honeymoon stitch. Yeah, it's not really a church. That's the pagan name. It's a kirke, a church, is what they call it. And that's the thing. Loneliness is better than hanging out with people living in a tannery. And I would be like get the jitters going into a Sunday worshiping church that they're preaching on Paul and having pig in their potluck dinners and all this crazy stuff. It would just be like hanging out with the Gentiles. We're told to be separated, very much separated, definitely. All right, we are in the book of Lucas. Jaden, will you please give us a quick breakdown of where we were prior to this?
Yehoshua is now towards the end of his career as the teacher, and he is publicly fighting the Pharisees. The Pharisees are out in public trying to trick him, trying to get him to slip up, and they are being shamed publicly. It is a very embarrassing for them because they can't beat this guy, and they're supposed to be the most learned people in town, but they're not. So they lose, and they're very embarrassed, and they're plotting ways to kill him because there's nothing they can do to stop him from getting his teaching out, and it goes against their traditions and what they brought from Babylon.
Yeah. Okay, let us get into this, right? Lucas 21. Beer bingo Catholic church. Yeah, and then they have like Oktoberfest, right? They have all these little demons dressed up in the church. Then they have Nimrod's phallus on there during Christmas time, right? And everybody's getting on their knees to the phallus. It's tough, right? You get the heebie-jeebies going in there. You'd be like, whoo, that's sketchy. Okay, here we are, Lucas 21. And looking up, he saw the rich putting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw a certain poor widow putting in 2 small coins. And he said, truly I say to you, that this poor widow has put in more than all. And these are the words of our Messiah. Those, again, who do not know him as Yahushua, we're using the Hebrew man's name of Jesus, who they call Jesus. Again, that's a pagan name, so we try not to use that. But I realize that a lot of you guys have never, ever heard a different name. And so these are the words of our Messiah right here. And so we have a widow that's putting in just a few coins, and then you have all these giants that are just tossing in mass amounts of coins. For all these, out of their excess, have put in offerings for Elohim. But she, out of her poverty, has put in all that she had to live on. Big difference, right? Huge difference. And this is the faith that we have, that we can absolutely do this. Now, the thing is, we don't exactly have the Levitical people that, we would be tithing to per se in this day and age. You have all of these satanic religious systems, and they all want to tax you for 10%. It's the new school IRS, right? It's the CIRS, the church IRS, where they want to take your 10%, and you shouldn't be giving them money, right? You should be giving them new flour, wine, things that we were supposed to give the Levites, who were supposed to be ministering to the people. But now you have all these really wealthy people. You have the satanic witchcraft guys, Joel Osteen. You have all of these people, and they're teaching a pagan satanic doctrine, getting rich off of it. So if you're giving your 10% to this, you'll find some poor people. Find some way to actually make your money if you want to do a tithe, but definitely don't give it to the demons. 5. Some were speaking about the Mikdash, the temple, that it was adorned with pleasant stones and gifts. He said, "These that you see, the days are coming in which not one stone shall be left upon another that shall not be thrown down." Okay, this is a big thing, right? We're talking about the temple, and Messiah says, "The days are coming which not one stone shall be left upon another that shall not be tossed down." And these are fighting words for people back in the day. It took years and years and years and years for the temples to be made, for Solomon's temple to be made. It was a big deal. And they asked him, saying, "Teacher, but when shall this be? And what is the sign when this is about to take place?" So we have two different questions right here, right, guys? We have, "Teacher, when shall this be? And what is the sign when this is about to take place?" And he said, "See that you are not led astray. For many shall come in my name, saying, 'I am,' and the time is near. Then do not go after them. But when you hear of fightings and unrest, do not be alarmed, for these have to take place first, but the end is not immediately." Then he said to them, "Nation shall rise against nation, reign against reign, and there shall be great earthquakes in various places, and scarcity of foods, and deadly diseases. And there shall be terrors and great signs from the Shamayim, and there shall be great tempests. But before all this, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the congregations and prisons, and be brought before sovereigns and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn out to you for a witness. Therefore resolve your hearts not to premeditate on what to answer. For I shall give a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to refute or resist." Okay, so a lot of people believe this is the end time things. We have an event in 70 AD when Jerusalem was surrounded and everybody was cut off. It was one of these things that got everybody in for a feast, and they basically starved everybody off. You had women that were filleting their kids, eating their kids. There was no food. When Messiah says, "When you see these things coming, make sure you don't go back from the field. Don't go from the field back into the city. Flee into the mountains. Get out of there." And so there's a lot of people that will take this to be stuff that's completely in the future, whereas a lot of the signs of what Messiah was saying here, a lot of the stuff has come to take place. And so if you're looking for certain things, just be very, very aware that not everything is, a lot of things are in the past, especially in scriptures. A lot of stuff in Daniel has already come to pass, especially the AD 70 event that went and has already come to pass. See where we're at. Okay, 15. "For I shall give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to refute or resist. And you shall be betrayed by parents and brothers and relatives and friends. And some of you shall be put to death. And you shall be hated by all because of my name. But not a hair of your head shall be lost at all. Possess your lives by your endurance." Okay, big words, right? We're in a time right now where it is very, very clear that, it's very easy to get hated, right? When we started keeping Torah, we lost all of our in-laws, right? We lost our mothers, our fathers, our family. We are no longer invited, or no longer actually go. We just stopped going to their little Christmas holidays. We stopped going to Thanksgiving. It took years and years and years before they stopped wishing us like Happy Easter and all this other stuff. And I don't think they wish us anything like that anymore. They know we don't keep any of these pagan holidays, that they are all satanic. They are all things that are against scriptures, but yet they will keep them to the bitter end. But we're the crazy people, right? We're the people, oh yeah, Jason and Nicole, they're just crazy, right? Not keeping any of the stuff. continuing on. So, make sure that we're possessing our lives by our endurance. What is our endurance? Well, we're keeping the scriptures. We're keeping the Torah. We're not stopping, regardless of who laughs at us, regardless of how lonely it gets. We are large and in charge when it comes to the kingdom walk. 20. And when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its laying waste is near. A lot of people have said, well, this is the end times, right? This is the new Israel. This is where we're at today. Guys, the people of Israel, as crazy as this sounds, are a bunch of guys from Kazakhstan, right? They're Khazarians. They're not even the people of Yisrael. And people don't understand this, right? They're like, well, we need to support Israel. If you don't support Israel, you're going to be cursed by our Creator. I will tell you today, and you can do a simple Google search, that you can do abortion clinics in Israel, and you can find that abortion clinics line up the current place they call Israel all over, right? If you're looking for the current Israel is all of us, right? It's not a group of religious people dressed around in penguin suits. That's not who this is. We have no Torah commands that say dress up like they dress up. We have no Torah commands that say we should obliterate our children and kill them off on the tables of Moloch. And so don't be deceived, right? Do not be deceived. And what they're talking about right here is when Messiah, when he says you're going to see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its laying waste is near. This came and this went. Then let those in Yehuda, let those in Judah flee to the mountains, and let those who are in the midst of her go out, and let not those who are in the fields return to enter her, right? Again, this came and went. If you were if you were in Jerusalem when the armies were surrounding you and you were getting ready to get owned, the Messiah very clearly tried to save everybody who came around about 40 years after Messiah was murdered. This is the prophecy that was coming. 22. Because these are the days of vengeance, to fulfill all that had been written. And woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing children in those days, for there shall be great distress in the earth and wrath upon his people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are filled. Even to this day, we have people that are pretending to be not Gentiles, that are Gentiles in the land of Jerusalem, in the land of Israel. That's just the bottom line. You can see, you can't really actually say too much on YouTube just because they are a that place entity. 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and moon and stars and the earth, anxiety of nations, and bewilderment at the roaring of the sea and agitation, men fainting from fear and the expectation of what is coming on the earth. For the powers of the Shamayim shall be shaken. And they shall see the Ben of Adam coming in a cloud with power and much esteem. So now we have fixated into a future place, right? Because we have not seen the Son of the Most High. We've not seen Messiah Yahushua, our Mashiach, coming in a cloud with power and much esteem. And according to the book of 2nd Ezra, according to Enoch, you can look at all of these. And the days of our Messiah coming are going to be amazing, right? We have been waiting, and we're not waiting for a weak bridegroom to come. We are waiting for a powerhouse of power. And, when you read the extracurricular Apocrypha books, Messiah Yahushua devastates these people, right? He takes all these armies and he melts their equipment. He destroys them. He wipes them out. All these people come against him. And in fact, it even says in the Apocrypha that everybody's fighting everybody. Everybody has all these wars. When Messiah comes, they all look at each other and go, all right, let's stop fighting each other. We got to deal with this guy, right? And Messiah destroys them. And we're looking at a warrior coming to afflict damage on all these evil demons that have taken over all of our lands. 28. And when these begin to take place, look up and lift your heads, because your redemption draws near. And he spoke a parable to them. Look at the fig tree and all the trees. When they have already budded, observing it, you shall know for yourselves that summer is now near. So you also, when you see these take place, know that the reign of Elohim is near. Truly I say to you, this generation shall by no means pass till all shall have taken place. The Shamayim and the earth shall pass away, but my words shall by no means pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest your hearts be weighed down by gluttony and drunkenness and worries of this life, and that day come on you suddenly. For it shall come as a snare on all those dwelling on the face of all the earth. Guys, we have been told this over and over and over, right? We have a parable of the virgins, right? Half the virgins have no oil. They have not been ready. Nobody's ready. How do we be ready? Gentlemen, what's being ready look like?
By obeying the Torah, by doing what the Bible tells us to do.
Walking the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. That's how to be ready. Being ready is reading your scriptures, knowing your scriptures, applying it to your life, not letting any incident ever go through your world without weighing it to the Torah. The Torah is our bottom line. It is the words of our Creator that have been part of, it's a beautiful thing. And when we walk these laws, we will be ready, right? We are not ready if we don't know the laws. If we are just these people that we're just living the Gentile way, our best life now, this is the coolest thing ever, right? Watching all this demonic stuff, listening to all this demonic stuff, not caring about what we eat, not taking care of our temples, that's not being ready. 36, watch then at all times and pray that you be counted worthy to escape all this about to take place and to stand before the Son, the Ben of Adam. Stand before Messiah Yahushua. Be ready, right? Do you think chewing on our pork rinds, doing all this evil stuff, being part of the world, celebrating all these pagan Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas and just handing out gifts, doing all this, does this sound like a set-apart people? Does this sound like we're going to make the kingdom to come? Or does it sound like we look just like the rest of the world and smell just like them as well? 37, and he was teaching in the temple, in the Mikdash by day, but at night he went out and stayed on the mountain of Olives. And early in the morning, all the people came to him in the Mikdash to hear him. All right, brothers and sisters, here we are. We have made it to the very end. To everybody who has made it to the end, shalom, shalom. Much love to you all. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yep. Yahuwah brought you and guard you. Yahuwah made his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
Yep, and scrolling through these, seeing what I missed here.
So, Brian, Honeymoon Stitch says, Brother Jason questioned this generation?
Well, I mean, there's the generate. I mean, number one is we know that Messiah Yahushua has not come back in the clouds. We have that from a lot of other texts. We know also that everything Messiah Yahushua was saying right there is it did come to pass, right? 30, 40 years later, Jerusalem was surrounded. Everybody got completely annihilated. It was defiled. They sacrificed pigs in the temple. They burned the temple down. They tossed the temple to the ground. Everything that he said came to pass. And I believe that is what he was talking about in that.
And I don't know if you answered this question already because I was searching for the judge about Abraham.
Yeah.
Did you answer Jacob's question about it seems to me that you're saying Yehoshua came to reestablish the Old Testament?
Well, the thing is, the Old Testament was never not reestablished. The Old Testament has never gone away. How they call it the Old Testament, why they call it that, I have no idea. It's not old by any means. In fact, it's as new. It's the same thing, right? This is where we have religious system that is tricking everybody, and they go, well, this is the New Testament, this is the Old Testament. You know, we have the Tanakh, we have the Basora, so we have what they consider old for, for whatever reason they call it old. It's the same thing. Our Messiah came as the Word made flesh. He came as an example of the Torah, walking the Torah, being a part of the Torah. That's what he did. It wasn't that, they still kept the Torah. Even the religious Pharisees, Sadducees, the groups back in the day, they kept a form of the Torah. So the Torah has never gone away. It is only in the religious system, say Christianity, that they say the Torah is gone and hey, here's the new religion. You walk Christianity, right? And there's no place in scriptures anywhere that we are told to become Christians. And to become a Christian, you're actually called you're supposed to be a follower of the Christos. You're supposed to be a follower of Christ. And if you're following our Mashiach, then you should be following the laws, the statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And that's what our Messiah was here for, is that maybe to establish that the laws are still in. If you want to be a part of the kingdom to come, we have to absolutely be a Torah keeper. There's no way around it. I've never found anywhere in scriptures that if you are a functioning Gentile, that you are saved. It doesn't exist inside of it. In fact, Gentile is not a good word. It's somebody who is out of covenant. If you are out of covenant, you are not a law keeper of our Creator. So with that, guys, Shabbat Shalom to everybody. We love you all. Much love to you all.
Walking steady on this road you made. Every step guided by your ways. When I listen close, I understand all your truth held in your perfect plan. Rising higher than before, lifting praise from deep in my core. Lifting praise, Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. In the morning when I rise to pray, in the evening as I end each day, every word you speak becomes my song, teaching me where I belong. Rising higher than before, your truth is what I'm living for. Living for Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. Your love surrounds me. Your love surrounds me. Your truth is found me. Your truth is found every day, every way. Leading me, setting me found every day, every way. Leading me, setting me. Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. To lift my hands to you. Forever lifting praise to you.
All right, beautiful family. May peace surround you, strengthen, and uphold you, and may joy follow you wherever you may go. May the Most High guide your steps and keep you safe.